Hi everyone! I'm Thea and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to set up our bullet journals for 2022. As you can see, I'm using the same notebook therapy journal that I've been using since October, and I left a few empty pages in the beginning of my setup for today's spreads. I'm quickly going to flip through the beginning pages of this journal so you can see how I usually set up a new journal. There's also a video about that on my channel and I will link that in the cards and the description box so you can check it out. The first thing that we are going to do in this setup is a new future log for 2022. The idea behind a future log is that you can write all different events and appointments there before you have done your monthly setup. As I don't have a lot of events, I'm going to fit all 12 months of the year in this one spread. If you need more space for your future log, you can easily set up just 6 months for each spread, for example. I've actually been using the same layout ever since I started bullet journaling, and for 2022 I'm keeping this super simple. I just lettered the future log with my Tombow fudenosuke pen and the months with a 03 pigma micron. After that I started writing out the numbers of each month's calendar with a 01 pigma micron. I highly recommend that you sketch these out beforehand like I did, so you don't accidentally mess up. Writing out the little numbers was quite time consuming, and as you can see my wrist started getting tired in the halfway. So I had to stretch my hand a bit and then I kept going. I was really happy that I didn't mess up the numbers because it would have been very annoying to start writing them out again. To add some color to this spread, I highlighted the top parts of the calendar with Tombow dual brush pen in the shade 942. After that, I quickly wrote out the weekdays on top because it would have looked weird if there was just a random highlight without any text in it. In the past, I've colored in these highlights with the color that I mainly used for my monthly themes, and you can definitely do that too if you'd like to have more colorful spreads. I just like to keep my yearly setup very simple and neutral because my themes usually have more color in them, and sometimes it's nice that you don't have to spend ages in setting up different themes. Anyway, for the finishing touches, I just added these gold lines next to the monthly titles and then the spread was ready. Next, I'm setting up a 2021 review spread. For the title, I wrote out these big numbers with 03 pigma micron fineliner in kind of faux lettering style. Basically, I just drew the other line next to the downstrokes and colored in the white area. Because the thin part of the numbers looked a little too thin, I drew over them with pigma micron in size 10. On the page on the right, I wrote review in calligraphy. I usually don't use capital letters, so I struggled a little bit with the first letter, but I think it came out okay. Next, I started writing out some questions that will help me to reflect how the year has been. My first question is what went well and what did I achieve. I definitely had few big achievements this year as I graduated from university and also finally started making YouTube videos after thinking about that for such a long time. Other questions are related to my struggles this year and what did I learn. The final question is how I can make next year better, and the intention behind this question is to figure out what are the things that would improve my mental health and wellness instead of magically changing my life, if that makes sense. Anyway, I highlighted the questions with the same 942 Tombow dual brush pen that I used earlier in my future log. On the bottom of this page I made a little timeline by writing out the 12 months of the year, and I highlighted that with a N89 Tombow dual brush pen. I have 4 dot spaces for each month, and my plan is to write out my monthly highlights here. For the decorations I just added some simple leaf doodles with my gold jelly roll. I didn't sketch this out beforehand because these are super easy to draw, and I found that erasing the pencil sketch underneath the gold gel pen isn't a great idea as the gel pen tends to smudge. I thought I would show you how I've used this spread in the past, so you can get the idea how it looks after filling it in. The text is written down in Finnish, so you probably can't understand it, but I've answered the same questions in 2019 and written down the monthly highlights in the timeline with different colors. Next, I'm setting up my 2022 goals spread. I divided the page on the left in 4 different categories, which are career, wellness, personal and other. Basically, I will just write out my goals in these 4 sections. I would love to hear what is one goal or intention that you have for 2022. One of my goals is to find a job that I would really like. As I said earlier, I graduated from university earlier this year and I studied elementary teacher education. I have realized that I don't want to be a teacher, at least for now, so I've been struggling with my career path a lot. It also feels weird not to be a student anymore after studying for so long. Hopefully journaling will help me to figure out what I want to do with my life. Anyway, on the page on the right, I'm writing out some prompts for 2022. I, for example, write down a bad habit I would like to break, a good habit that I'm going to keep up with, and a new skill that I would like to learn. I did the same spread this year, and I feel like it really helped me to try out new things, like making more video content. And I'm really happy that I finally decided to start making YouTube videos, even though I was a little nervous about doing it. To decorate this spread, I drew the same kind of leaf doodles as I did in the previous spread. The leaf doodle in the bottom looked a little weird compared to the other 2, so I added little berries to the empty parts, and I think it made it look a lot better. I also added leaf doodle to the other page as well. And I added some gold lines to the goals page for finishing touches. I thought the spread looked too minimalistic to my liking, so I added some grey highlights to the 2022 prompts page to finish off everything. I actually think that the page Tombow shade might have been a better choice as the setup would have been more cohesive, but the grey works well too. After fixing a little mistake with the white pen, I moved on to the last spread of this video. On top of the page I wrote down books I've read. Next year I would love to get back into reading, as it was one of my favorite hobbies as a kid. Ever since I tried to move on to adult books instead of books for kids and teenagers, I've really struggled with reading for some reason. This year I managed to read 1 book and that was really good. Now I'm reading Me Before You, and I hope I can finish it before the year changes. I haven't seen the movie, by the way, but I will probably watch it after I've read the book. If you have any book recommendations, I would love to hear them. Anyway, because I haven't been reading a lot of books lately, I made the book section quite small. Besides that, I have 2 other sections on the bottom for movies that I've seen and TV shows I've been watching. What was your favorite TV show you watched in 2021? My favorites were probably Squid Game and also the new season of You. I also watched a lot of reality TV. To finish off this yearly setup, I decided to add a quote in the page on the right. The quote that I chose goes like this: "Imagine what's possible once you stop doubting yourself." I feel like this is a great reminder that we usually are the ones who critique ourselves the most. Or at least I do that. Talking to yourself like you would talk to a friend is really important when it comes to your mental health, and that's definitely something that I'm working on as someone who has imposter syndrome. And now it's time for the final flip through of my 2022 bullet journal setup. I really like how these minimalistic spreads turn out, and I'm very excited about the new year, even though I'm still going to be using this same notebook. I hope you found some new ideas or inspiration from this video, and remember to like this video if you enjoyed it and leave a leaf emoji in the comments if you are still here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!